Good evening, I'm Macy Marie. Tens of millions of people are in the path of severe storms this Memorial Day weekend. Oklahoma already taking a direct hit. An EF3 tornado roared into the city of El Reno last night, killing at least 2 and destroying everything in its path. Here's Larry Seward.
Somewhere in that, somebody died.
In the Oklahoma City suburb of El Reno, Sedona Jeans woke up falling, staring out a cracked window, watching her neighbor's trailer roll with 12 people, including children inside.
Then Lisa, she got out and pounded on my window, said she couldn't find Javen, which was her 3-year-old. And I said, I'm coming, I'm coming.
Between Skyview Trailer Park and what used to be a 2-story motel next door, an EF3 tornado killed at least 2 people, 16 survivors, hospitalized with injuries ranging from broken bones to life-threatening trauma.
It's a very trying time for us, excuse me, and we're going to get through it.
Across the plains, a week of stormy weather spun a devastating tornado in Missouri, flooded parts of Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, and the National Weather Service predicts the Arkansas River will crest at record levels. Last week, El Reno saw high water. Now, it's piles of debris and raw emotion.
The scariest moment was trying to get out of the house, and the daggum door wouldn't open because I wanted to get out and find those kids.
Jeans says everyone in her neighbor's flipped trailer survived. She and her disabled nephew are okay too. Authorities are using dogs to search through rubble, making sure no one is trapped. But dozens are homeless, leaning on neighbors for food, shelter, and support. Officials here in El Reno set up a website to help families that live here. The mayor says this city is devastated, but will bounce back by sticking together. For CBS News, Larry Seward, El Reno, Oklahoma.
Back here in the Bluegrass, we had thunderstorms roll through, causing some power outages. Most counties had outages at some point tonight. To view a list of where the lights are out, you can head over to our website, WYMT.com.
What a busy evening it was. Plenty of showers and thunderstorms moved through eastern Kentucky. Let's go ahead and recap a little bit of what we saw out there. Now, this photo is from Laurel County in London from WYMT weather spotter Johnny Nicholson. You can see that severe thunderstorm that did move through, that shelf cloud. That's indicative of those high winds that a lot of us did see. But then check it out, just as quick as those storms came in, we had a beautiful ending to the day with that sunset and beautiful colors over there in Laurel County. Now, here's Pinpoint Doppler over the last few hours. This is what we saw, that line of stout storms. Most of them, a few of them were severe warned with those gusty winds and small hail. We got some reports of some downed power lines as well as some downed trees, but overall not too many reports. So overall not too bad. However, those storms definitely affected people's outdoor plans this evening, but it also worked to cool us down quite dramatically. Temperatures now in the mid to upper 60s for a lot of us, and those 60s came in right as those rain showers and thunderstorms moved through. So definitely worked to cool us down, and we're going to see a little bit of fog develop. Some of it is already getting on into some of the viewing area. 4 miles of visibility in Harlan, especially in those valley regions and where you saw plenty of rain today. That's where the fog is going to be overnight. So if you have to travel in the next few hours or overnight or even into your Monday morning, you're going to run into that fog. Now, here's another beautiful viewer photo. This is from Susan King in Pike County. Just a spectacular photo of that shelf cloud that moved through Pike County. But overall, we're going to go ahead and get you tonight's forecast and the rest of your Memorial Day weekend forecast in just a little bit, Macy.
All right, thank you, Kelly. A former Kentucky jail deputy charged with manslaughter in the death of an inmate pleaded guilty to a lesser count. News outlets report former deputy Alicia Beller from Putnam, West Virginia, entered the plea Friday in Boyd County to wanton endangerment. The agreement calls for diversion instead of prison time. It's the unofficial start of summer for many of us, and that means it's time to head out to the lake for boating season. Park rangers at Buckhorn Lake are reminding people that they can still have fun while staying safe. Officials are asking everyone to have a life jacket on board when boating, even if you are a strong swimmer. And if you happen to forget your life jacket, well, the Army Corps, they have you covered.
We have a life jacket loaner program, you can get a life jacket for free. You just sign it out, check it out at our office, the marina, at the campgrounds, and we never want anyone to be out without a life jacket.
Southwood says that they're expecting a lot more people to come out and enjoy the lake in the next few weekends. Many people ride for a special reason. More than 75 bikers came out this morning for the 5th annual Memorial Day Motorcycle Ride for Life. Thacker Memorial teamed up with Hillbilly Christmas in July to raise money for the Shriners Children's Hospital in Lexington today. Larry Thacker says this is a great way to give back to those who gave so much for us.
If we collect $10, all $10 of it is going to make it all the way to Lexington Crippled Children's Hospital. So where else can you make a donation and know all your money is going to be delivered to them?
The Poker Run motorcycle ride raised more than $5,000. Thacker Memorial will host an annual flag dedication at 1 p.m. tomorrow. The wounds of war can cut deeply. It's a nation where 20 veterans die by suicide each day. Service dogs are on the front lines of the battle to keep America's heroes safe. Here's Don Daler.
With his gentle devotion to former President George H.W. Bush, the dog named Sully won a permanent place in our hearts. But Cliff Miller fell in love with the lab years earlier. At just 8 weeks old, the pup was chosen by Miller, his partner Patricia Summers, and their community service group, Friends of America's Vet Dogs. The Long Island-based charity that provides service dogs to veterans depends on donations from ordinary people.
I think a lot of people would be surprised that these dogs aren't supplied by a grateful nation to these vets.
The Vietnam vets that were returning from combat back then were not. It was actually a disgrace the way the vets were treated. And now is the opportunity that we as a group of just friends, that if they need a service dog to have a better life, we can actually do something to make that happen.
Men and women like Sharon Rainier. She was a nurse for 27 years and treated 9/11 victims. Soon after, she enlisted herself in the Army and was assigned to an emergency room in Baghdad.
What was that like?
We were having rockets and mortars lobbed in all the time.
Did you have an idea then how it was affecting you emotionally?
I think it hits you a little bit later. You just become almost robotic to what's going on.
After 10 years in the United States Army, Sharon decided it was time to hang up her uniform and try to return to civilian life. That was not as easy as it sounds.
I was put into the Warrior Transition Battalion in Bethesda. Because, you know, I had an attempt, and this way...
An attempt?
Yeah. I had
Suicide
had an attempt.
She was having trouble functioning. Going out in public made her anxious. Sleep eluded her. But a chance hospital encounter changed her life.
One of the Boston bombing victims, Mark Fucarelli, was at Walter Reed. He had a dog, Comrade, and he was just... kept coming to me. I just said, I think that's what I need.
Vet dogs cost upwards of $60,000 to raise, train, and care for. But Sharon was determined.
It was about 4 months after I actually retired out of the Army that I got the phone call, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna get a dog.
That dog is Eddie, a bit of a goofball when he's not working.
Eddie Dorr.
But all business when he is.
Yes, Eddie, good job.
The 4-year-old Brindle Labrador never leaves her side.
I could not believe that this was possible, but I have night terrors, and Eddie interrupted my nightmare, night terror, the first night I had him, and I was like in tears the next day. If he did nothing else for me but that, life was going to be great.
Eddie has opened up the world to her again, getting Sharon out of the house and into social situations, something she never thought she'd be able to do. And as for that other lab, Sully is now part of a team of rehabilitation dogs at Walter Reed Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. It's not always medicine that heals.
Sully, salute. Yes, good boy.
Sometimes just having a friend can work miracles. Don Daler, CBS News, New York.
Santa Anita had its third horse death in 9 days when a gelding pulled up during a race and was euthanized. 26 horses have died in racing or training at the Southern California track since December 26th. The Los Angeles Times reported that Cochise sustained an injury to its left front leg in a race Saturday. Cochise was taken off the course with a splint. The newspaper says during surgery Sunday it was determined that the 9-year-old horse had lost blood flow to the leg and the decision was made to euthanize. A woman in Hawaii who was missing for 17 days after going for what was supposed to be a short hike was released from the hospital today. Amanda Eller was found in a dense forest on Maui late Friday, dehydrated and injured. Jonathan Vigilti has her remarkable story.
After 17 days and 16 nights, a fork in the sky led to a miracle.
All of a sudden they said, should we go to the right or should we go to the left? We said, let's go to the right. And it was like divine intervention.
Riding in a rescue chopper, Troy Helmer and Chris Berquist discovered Amanda Eller clinging to life on a waterfall in the Hawaiian rainforest.
As soon as we saw her, it was like, oh my God, we got her.
Amanda had lost 20 pounds, suffered a fractured leg, abrasions on her ankles, and a severe sunburn. But she still had her smile.
The cavalry arrived. What were her first words? To be entirely honest with you, I don't remember because it was so incredibly overwhelming. We were all crying and screaming and laughing.
Then, for the first time in more than 2 weeks, she called her dad.
It was just nothing but pure emotion.
Amanda went missing after going for a jog on May 8th, last seen here on surveillance, mailing a Mother's Day card. On Friday, she was plucked from isolation and airlifted to safety.
It did come down to life and death, and I had to choose. And I chose life.
Speaking from her hospital bed, she thanked the more than 200 volunteers that scour the 2,000-acre reserve night and day.
I have the most gratitude and respect and appreciation. I can't even put it into words for the people that have helped me, for the people that have prayed for me.
Most of those volunteers, like Chris and Troy, had never met Amanda before, but now they say they feel bonded for life.
I just sat down next to her and was like,
She definitely said my prayers were answered, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Maui.
Amanda Eller is currently being treated at the Maui Memorial Medical Center. Medical officials say they were surprised at the relatively healthy condition she was found in and expect her to make a full recovery. A crash involving a bus on I-77 in North Carolina killed one woman. The driver of the bus was trying to change lanes when he hit the wall, causing the engine to catch fire. An 82-year-old woman passenger could not get out, and that's how she died. 4 other people were taken to the hospital. A man is in custody in the case of a missing Utah girl. 5-year-old Elizabeth Shelley was reported missing from her home in Logan on Saturday morning. Police are calling the girl's uncle, 21-year-old Alex Whipple, the primary suspect. Whipple was at the family's home Friday night. Both he and the girl were not at the home on Saturday morning. He was found less than 10 miles away later that day without the girl. Whipple was arrested and is said to be not cooperating with police. The FBI is now involved, as well as other agencies, to find Shelley. And still to come on Mountain News Weekend Edition. A tourist is dead after a shark attack in Hawaii. Those details coming up next.
Looks like we are finally in the clear tonight, but what about your Memorial Day? I'll break down those rain chances in just a few minutes.